Konkona, good evening. Anyone else? Friends? Okay. Our subject of discussion today is Planning Committee, Planning Commission. সুমিতাভ বিশ্বাস, সুমিতাভ নমস্কার, সুমিতাভ হিমাংশু পাত্র, ওকে, নমস্কার, জয় হিন্দ. Today's subject is Planning Committee, Planning Commission. Arindam Lahiri, you are audible and visible. Okay, thank you. Planning Committee, Planning Commission. Dipankar has given a comment, Shahana Basu, 2 comments. Dipankar has written, Subhash Chandra made Nehru the chairman of the first Planning Commission. In return, Nehru backstabbed Netaji. That's a fact. But moreover, still today, the tragedy is, if you ask any IAS, IPS or BCS bureaucrats, even politicians, judges, so-called intellectuals, literary figures, they do not know the fact that the concept of planning committee and concept of planning commission was not by Nehru, but by Netaji Subhash Chandra. But the tragedy is, so-called intellectuals of this Bharatvarsha, they always think and say it is Nehru, as because this is by propaganda, for propaganda. History books, they tell about Nehru behind Planning Committee and Commission, and this is a very cunning engineering to promote the name of Nehru, to delete the name of Netaji Subhash Chandra. Subhash Chandra. This is one political side, and also to propagate this, Madhuchanda Kanji, to propagate this, even very big persons was manipulated, purchased. When after partition, Planning Committee was taken into action, when Prashanta Chandra Mahalanobis, that famous statistician, was given the task of planning, 5-year plan. This Prashanta Chandra Mahalanobis, in his writings, volumes, always mentioned Nehru. Never he was ashamed, hesitant to mention the name of Subhash Chandra Bose behind the building, this concept of this Planning Committee and Commission. Because Prashanta Chandra Mahalanobis had a compulsion to please Nehru. This Prashanta Chandra Mahalanobis, I do not regard him as a scientist. He's a very good, very big statistician. No doubt, he's a very big statistician. His institution, Statistical Society of India, Boranagar, is definitely a very, very big institution. But do not regard him as a scientist in the plane of his contemporaries, like Satyen Bose or Meghnad Saha. Satyen Bose, Meghnad Saha is the world-class physicist. Satyen Bose is a world-class person of mathematical physics. Meghnad Saha is a world-class physicist. Prashanta Mahalanobis is not of that level. But some group of persons in Bengal and in India, they always plane Mahalanobis in the plane of Satyen Bose, Meghnad Saha. It's too much. And this Mahalanobis used his association with Kobi Guru to come up, and then used Nehru. Because Nehru and Mahalanobis used each other. And subsequently Mahalanobis did one thing. He was copy and paste technique. The Russian 5-year plans. Russian plans. He was copying and pasting to India. And that brought danger to India. Copy and pasting from a foreign country is never good for any country. Planning should be according to the geography, history, culture, and specific needs of the country, of the soil, of the time. Just copying and pasting is no research. Copy and paste will not do good to country, any country. Yes, that was the concept of Subhash Chandra from early 30s. Netaji Subhash Chandra never. He has got ideas, his personal ideas on different subjects. Even how to continue, how to start and continue war for freedom. How to start and continue freedom, independence movement. And then how to develop the country after transfer of power or after independence. Everything need be planned. Everything must be on a research basis. I am reading somewhere. Even when he's planning the freedom movement, freedom war, he tells the need of a research. When he's telling of for the reconstruction of the economy of the country, building of the nation after transfer of power or independence, he's telling of research for research, subject-wise. He wants to appoint researchers subject-wise, according to the need of the country. I'm coming there. Even he is never pushing his own personal ideas for any subject, for any issue. Always he is telling of research. Suppose when he is telling for the technique of freedom movement, he is emphasizing all to read the world history, how empires has risen, empires has fallen, how in different countries there is freedom movement is continuing. To read the history of different nations of the world and learn from there. He is wanting research teams how to build the movements, how to continue that. He is never imposing his own personal ideas. Where the non-violence movement, where the violent movement, its ups and downs, journeyings, everything need be from the research papers. Is never imposing that my idea is this, I am imposing this. Never telling that this is my voice of my inner voice from my spirit. No vague questions, no personal ideas imposed. It's telling each front we must appoint our research workers, nationalistic mind research workers, to bring forward the ideas, gathering informations from all over the world. Similarly, and let me quote his, in early 33, his writing, how methodical the person is. A scientific examination of the strong and weak points of the British rule in India in relation to the Indian people. Subject, he is telling the subjects on where our scholars will research. A scientific examination of the strong and weak points of the Indian people in relation to the British rule in India. A scientific examination of the rise and fall of empires in other parts of the world. A scientific examination of the history of freedom movements in other lands and study of the gradual evolution of freedom in all aspects in the world. That is the ideas. It is not the personal ideas of the leader. Everything need be from the research works by teams, and about the reconstruction after transfer of power or freedom, whatever. Again, he's emphasizing on planning, and the planning before that, research. What he is telling? After the moment British will go, power will come to our hands. If from before in our hands, if not the research projects, there will be time will be killed. If after getting power in our hands, if we tell our researchers start research, then that will kill a time. There will be a time gap between our power, getting power, and starting the real work on the ground. So that there is no time killing. Our research work has to be started from now on. From before getting the power to our hands, we must have our research papers in our hand. In each plane where cottage industry will be allowed, where middle scale industry will be allowed, where big industry need to be engineered, and agriculture, how agriculture need to be mechanized. Agriculture need to be engineered to give more production. Because it is the question of solving the poverty, the food crisis, and the unemployment. Everything need to be solved, and that will be solved not in one day, not suddenly after getting power. It is not possible by the leader to plan. Plan has to be on research papers, and research has to be done from before, because each research needs a long time. He's telling our young persons or young brains will start research from now on, and our research papers will be in hand. What to do in each subject, and I am reading that area. In 1930s, he is writing, our next requirement will be a scientific plan of action and a scientific program for the future. The method of action beginning from today and right up to the conquest of power. From now on, we will start our research up to the time of our conquest of power. The moment there is a conquest of power, we will execute, we will materialize our research papers. We will have to be, and right up to the conquest of power, will have to be visualized and planned out in detail as far as humanly possible. The movement of the future must therefore be made to rest on an objective and scientific foundation in keeping with the facts of history and of the human nature. Hitherto, too much appeal has been made to inner light. And there is a God, Gandhi, who is telling everything from his inner light, inner voice. Everything is being researched there. The God is commanding him to tell something. Inner light. We cannot depend on the inner light. And objective feeling in guiding a political campaign. Yes, we cannot depend on inner light, inner voice, and subjective feelings of a person, the subjective feeling of a leader. the future of the nation and presence of the present activities of a nation and future of a nation cannot depend on the inner voice of a leader or inner light of a leader or the whims and personal feelings of a leader. Everything must be guided by the research papers of research teams. Subject, yes, and to subjective feelings in guiding a political campaign, which is after all, because a movement and development is an objective thing, and that must not be guided by subjective feeling. How clear the language. And Subhash Chandra in exile, 1933, 4, 5, 6, 7. And also, here before, even in 20s, is always the person always think for plannings, research and plannings, either for freedom movement or for future reconstruction of the country, every time. Most methodical man. And he is the man, if you compare him with any other political figure of the country, is the most brilliant man academically, most methodical man, most scientific man. As a student of psychology, philosophy, and then applied psychology, the most methodical man. And now, how much time? Any question? Any question? Now I'll go to the Arindam. Arindam, you are audible and visible. Kanji watching. Arindam Naidu, the Didi of Bengal nowadays, claims that current government of center that they have abolished the planning commission. Yes, they have abolished. Fact. Created by Netaji. So, for the first time, these seculars are now telling of Netaji. But how we have so, and Arindam, I am telling you, in last 70 years, there never so much talk of planning committee and commission. But in 70 years, central government never decided, never think to make this planning committee and planning commission a constitutional body. They have never thought of this. They should have made it a constitutional body with constitutional powers. They have made it as a part of their PMO. And the members of the planning committee has no academic right, has no independence. They're the political slaves of the prime minister and the political party. They are not given any constitutional right, constitutional status. And in 70 years, these political parties that ruled this in Delhi, they've never praised Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, except once B.V. Giri reminded the nation it is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose who is the architect of planning committee and commission. That's all. And in late 90s, Madhu Dandavate, when he was vice president of the planning commission, only in his time, a volume was published, Planning Commission and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. That is the only volume in the last 70 years. Yes, Subhash Chandra Bose, pioneer of Indian planning. This is the only volume published in the last 70 years. They have made this planning committee and commission as a political slave in the PMO. They have not given any constitutional status, any independence. And let me remind you, planning committee as done by Subhash Chandra in 1938 Planning committee is the body of experts, only body of experts and scientists. They will propose projects. Planning commission is a wider body having all the members of the planning committee and the political representatives of different states and centers, including Prime Minister. But now this planning commission is the obligation to execute the plannings. Here we need the political bodies. And when Subhash Chandra did it, it was the British stage. At that time, he proposed the planning commission will have all the members, that is all the experts and scientists of the planning committee, plus a representative of the states, the British Indian states. When the CM was called Prime Minister, his industry ministers, all these things, plus representatives of the princely states. He wanted the economic integration of all segments of British India and princely states under the Queen, not under the Viceroy. Please keep in mind how he started to integrate. That was his ideas. Arindam, Shahana, good evening. Taposh, good evening. Shurjo Ghoshal, solving the poverty and unemployment can be solved, but after new change come in Bengal. Dipankar, inner voice of Gandhi was the voice of British intelligence. Yes, inner voice. Whenever Gandhi has told of inner voice, it is the comment of the British. Sacred comment of the British. And whenever this Italian mafia tells of inner voice, it is the voice of the foreign forces, anti-Indian foreign forces. Be clear. Arindam Lahiri, I heard Netaji studied a subject, mental and moral philosophy, under the philosophy from Calcutta. It was a paper. But for Tripos in England, it was the applied psychology. Yes. Then 1937, 38, he was made the Congress president. And after being Congress president, he executed his ideas, crystallized his ideas. Now he started crystallizing his ideas into a reality. But think of those days, it is Gandhi era. Our politicians, our leaders was in the land of hallucination. What is that hallucination? Gandhi magic will liberate this country. And the non-violence will bring independence. Gandhi magic will bring independence. And the wheel and the cottage industry, wheel and cottage industry will give the economic improvement of this country, will give the economic reconstruction of the country. That was the hallucination in which our leaders were swimming. And think of have you read the Hind Swaraj of Gandhi? Hind Swaraj was the philosophy for the development of this country. What is Hind Swaraj? Read Hind Swaraj of Gandhi. We need to continue, we need to go back to our ancient age, the forest life, life of the nature. Abolish all the modern hospitals. Abolish the modern hospital. That is bad for the humanity. That is the language of Hind Swaraj. Abolish all the railway lines. Abolish all these telegraph lines. It is bad for the people. That is the language of Hind Swaraj. in those days to propose for a planning committee where from the plan for industrialization. Can you imagine how much courage is needed? Background is how he proceeded, his method, his technique. As per the 1935 British India Act. Yes, sorry, Tripos. Yes, Tripos. I possibly I have told you Tripos. Yes, Tripos. Oh my God. This Italian lady has also got the inner voice. Yes. This Italian mafia lady has many times used the term my inner voice. No. Tripos do not mean triple MA. No. It is not triple MA. Tripos. Where? Oh. As per the 1935 British India Act, in 1937, there was election in states because some autonomy was given to different states of British India. British India, different state got some autonomy, some power to rule the states at the state level, not at the center. That was that is only allowed as per 1930 British India Act, some autonomy. In election, Congress formed governments in 8 provinces. At that time, CM was called PM. Deputy CM was called Deputy Prime Minister. So at the time. And in other states, it was the coalition governments, like in Bengal, Punjab, all these things. And some power was given to the state governments for some small scale industry, middle scale industry, all these things. And in 37, in AICC, at that year 1930, it was Nehru Jawaharlal Nehru was the president. In that AICC, there was a resolution of how to develop different states in the line of developing some small industry and all these things, some plannings, all these things. That is a resolution. This much. And in 1938, when Subhash Chandra became Congress president, he picked up that resolution because there was the ideas of planning was not crystallized in 1937. But Subhash Chandra picked it up because when it is a past resolution of the AICC in 1937, he used it as a weapon. Now he started campaigning. And now step by step, he crystallized the ideas into planning committee and planning commission. And here, the blessings came from, the blessings and advices came from the big giants. Big giants are Kavi Guru, Meghnad Saha, Vishwesvaraya, P.C. Rai, the big giants of the academic world and scientific world. Meghnad Saha was the most practical scientist. Though he was a theoretical physics person, a very practical person, very dynamic person. And Meghnad Saha was moved by the plannings of USSR. And USSR, they picked up forced march in industrializations, forced march, and quick integration of the whole USSR. And Meghnad Jha was very much moved by their developments, their plannings. And here Rabindranath, in his Russia Chithi, you will see, he was also moved with some developments of the USSR. And Kavi Guru on one side and Meghnad Jha was thinking in the line of planning, futuristic planning of the country. And Subhash Chandra has got many times exchanged ideas with these persons. And with them joined other persons like the ideas of P.C. Rai, Gyan Ghosh, and a big person came forward, very big person of South India, Visvesvaraya. Visvesvaraya is at that time among the Indians, he is the pioneer technologist. Though may not be, he is brilliant in theoretical physics or brilliant in pure science, but he is a brilliant technologist. Visvesvaraya, Sir Visvesvaraya, very senior person, He's the pride of India, Visvesvaraya, on whose projects the huge dams and industries in South India, in Maharashtra and Karnataka. Sir Visvesvaraya, his ideas also. All these big persons exchange of idea with Subhash Chandra. And Subhash Chandra, after being president in 1938, and armed with that resolution, where some vague ideas of plannings were thought of, now he came forward to crystallize and to get courage to propose for planning committee and planning commission, from where the first sentences of industrialization, concept of big industries came in India. There is a big courage. Before that, no politician could think of, could tell of big industries in India, big industry in industrialization. That is just against the concept of Gandhian concepts. From Buddha, relationing any concept of industrialization, any idea of industrialization is directly against the Gandhian concepts. Any word of industry will irritate Gandhi. And taking that risk, crystallizing his concept of plannings, futuristic, and giving the idea of planning committee and commission for future. Very risky game. Very risky game. Because to do this means irritation to Gandhi. Gandhi will feel irritated and threatened. Because in the sphere of Indian politics, in philosophy, a new philosophy has come. Gandhi will not tolerate that. He's a dictator. He will never tolerate any other concepts, any other philosophy. Without any logic, without any discussion, without any scientific discourse, he will always impose his ideas on you. If you accept that, you are good to him. If you argue, if you put forward your counter propositions, you are bad to him. And with the help of the British, he will knock you out. That is Gandhi. And British on the other side is not wanting a big industry in India. British wants to keep this India in the British Empire as a supplier of raw materials. And British wants to keep this India in the empire as the area of his consumption of his produced consumer goods in his country, England. They want to keep your land in the empire as a purchaser, as a consumer of the consumer goods produced in England, and want to keep you as the only supplier of raw materials and cheap labor. And the planning, concept of planning committee, concept of planning commission, concept of industrialization, of industry, mines, agriculture, everything, is a threat to British, is a threat to Gandhi. Is it clear to you? But Kobi Guru was encouraged. Professor P.C. Rai was encouraged. Meghnad Shah was very much happy, very much happy. And Visvesvaraya, Sir Visvesvaraya, the blessings come from there. And as president of this All India AICC, 1938, he engineered an planning committee. And planning committee made of only experts and scientists. And planning commission, where all the members of the planning committee plus representatives, political representatives of all the princely states and British India states, plus representatives of the industrial bodies and merchant bodies. That is his project. But the question I will discuss one day, the role of Kobi Guru, role of Visvesvaraya, role of Meghnad Shah, role of P.C. Rai, again Ghosh, all these persons one day. But today I will give some ideas. And the industry, and he called as the AICC president, he called the meetings of the industrial ministers and prime ministers of the states at that time, and gradually gave the format to the planning committee and the early planning commission. And it was initially decided that Sir Visvesvaraya will be the chairman of the planning committee. And Sir Visvesvaraya, a very senior person, agreed to that. But this time here, it is Professor Meghnad Shah interfered. The point of Meghnad Shah to Subhash Chandra. Subhash Chandra was, I think, 2 years junior in Presidency College to Meghnad Shah. They knew each other from long before. Meghnad Shah told Subhash Chandra that if Visvesvaraya become president, then all the concept and papers of the planning committee will be theoretical thesis papers only. There is little chance of these theoretical papers to be executed into reality, because ultimately the political decisions has to be taken. Even if your papers are very good, scientific, but if the political stamp is not there, if the political decision is not taken to execute that, all the thinking, concepts, all the projects will not be executed. That's why let a top politician chair this. And in that case, Subhash Chandra as AICC president had the right to be the chairman, first chairman of the planning committee. But Subhash Chandra, two problems at it, very strong problems. To Subhash Chandra, planning committee, to chair the planning committee was not the main aim at that time. Main aim to him was to throw out the British, war against British, number one. Number two, if Subhash Chandra chair the post of president, Gandhi will not be neutralized. The antagonism of Gandhi will not be reduced. If Subhash is the president, there will be strong antagonism from the side of the Gandhi and Gandhians. But if Nehru is made the president, there will be less antagonism. Am I clear, Dipankar? After all, the child, which is just a child in the planning committee, just a child, if in the childhood of the planning committee gets the heat of antagonism of Gandhi, this will die. Let the child grow, maybe under the chairmanship of Nehru. Let it grow. And that was the behind the curtain thinkings. And Nehru was at that time in England. Subhash Chandra wrote a letter to him. Now, obviously, Nehru was glad to take this chair. Okay, Ranjan, have I made it clear now? And after partition, what happened is, yes, they could not throw the planning commission. This was very much needed and continued. And Nehru, after getting power as Prime Minister, he has sang the song of planning committee and commissions many a time in his books. But this scoundrel never mentioned the name of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and his puppet, Prashant Chandra Mahalanobis, in his writings. He has mentioned the 1938 Congress president engineered this planning committee. But this so-called scientist never uttered the name of Subhash Chandra Bose. These are the honesty of these persons. And the tragedy is, Netaji thought of research teams, young research teams, was knowledgeable, to have researchers for each individual subject from before. That was not done in India. What Mahalanobis did under the blessings of Nehru, he was trying to copy the projects of USSR and pasting here in India. And that naturally did not do good to this country. And agriculture was neglected. And here, suppose IITs was constructed. The IITians in India could not get a job. We produced IITians, the brilliant brains, the best brains of the time of that country, and they migrated after not getting any job in this country into Western world, USA, China, USA, Western Europe, all these areas. And our brains serve the interest of the foreign countries. That is our planning. And also, massive food crisis. That is the gift of the Nehruvian way of copy of pasting the Russian plannings. Any planning for any country cannot come from copy and paste. A good research is not that I'll copy from others' books and test it here. That is not a good research. And that brought a tragedy. Today, let me stop here today. 45 minutes. I'll hope if you put your questions, we'll be again tomorrow to give answer to your questions on this planning committee and commission and Subhash Chandra and related persons. Binoy Bose, Pradhan Mantri non. See what is your director ছিলেন প্রধানমন্ত্রী নন ডিরেক্টর নিজের মতো করে বিনয় বোস absolutely clear. Partho, is it clear? Why Subhash Chandra? He just constructed it. He chaired as chairman of the first session, then handed over the power to them. And one thing I tell you, the two most important factors which created a situation where British and Gandhi engineered conspiracy to throw out, to compel Subhash Bose for the resignation from the post of president of the AICC. It's two factors. Number one, the second Great War is impending. In a second Great War situation, it is very risky to keep a man like Subhash Bose in the post of president of the All India Congress. That is a threat to Gandhi, threat to British. That's why British and Gandhi collaborated to compel Subhash Bose to resign. Make it clear. And number two, the concept of planning commission, concept of industrialization of industry and agriculture and plannings is a direct threat to concept of Hind Swaraj. It's a direct concept of Gandhian concepts, Gandhian philosophy. Partho, am I clear? Dipankar, India's biggest blunder since independence is undermining the potential and possibility of the eruption of the solidified ultra-modern agronomy and bringing up radically the farmers. Dipankar, if you read the writings of Subhash Bose at that time, then that is, he is telling of industrialization of agriculture, use of scientific methods in agriculture to have excess yield, good yield, using the methods of Japan and Europe. That when he was in Europe, exiled, 33, 34, 35, 37, what he was doing? He was not idly sitting in the libraries and in his sleeping rooms. He was moving to different factories in Europe, moving to agro fields and libraries, discussing with experts on different subjects, getting ideas. Always thinking to apply this according to the need of its own motherland, respecting its history, heritage, and the culture, need of the time. That needs research, that needs brain, and that thinking is not possible by Gandhi and Nehru. Scientific thinking is a big thing. It is not possible for arrogant persons. political power-loving persons. Ages ago, Vivekananda told that two major powers of India are agriculture and fertility of land and spiritualism. Farming in India is perennial, while in many other geographies of the globe as seasonal. India possesses the capacity of export crops, agro products, and feed the world, earn huge foreign reserves. Yes, basically we are the agro-oriented society in India, no doubt. And one thing, remember, the sovereignty, the agro sovereignty, the food sovereignty is very vital, very vital. Food sovereignty, always we must preserve. If a country loses the food sovereignty, the agro sovereignty, it will lose everything. Everything. Remember, in ancient world, so much you see so much Egyptian civilizations, so many big constructions. But remember, all the wealth of this civilization, Egyptian civilization, came from agriculture. In India, the civilizations, so many big constructions with Nalanda University, so much big buildings, all the earnings came from agriculture. Agriculture. Dipankar, let me stop here, put your questions. If questions I see, I will again be on the same subject, planning committee and commission. Let me stop here now. Arindam ke liye what? Is it true that most of the potential natural resources of our country has yet to be tapped? Yes. Yes. So far as the potential natural resources, I tell you, we are at par with USA, USSR. We are at par with them. The major part of the resources of USSR and actually Russia and USA is untapped. Our also untapped. And the continent Africa is very rich in resources, have been exploited. The land is exploited. All mines have been exploited by the European countries. The land is exploited, mines are exploited, and the people is denatured, butchered. On one side by the Christianity, other side by the Islam. Their humanity, their civilizations have been denatured, have been burnt, and wealth has been stolen. All mines have been stolen. The continent most exploited on all planes. Madhuchanda was a good lecture. Sir, without political discussion, that's what we want. Thank you. Is my political discussions only political? Political discussions can be scientific and rational. But today's world, Madhuchanda, how can you run without discussing and knowing politics? Good or bad, today's world, all countries, the ultimate stamp to your thinkings and proposals had to come from the politician. After all, good or bad, politicians are the rulers of your country. The tragedy is, you can tell, the brilliant brains are not coming to politics. That's the problem. After Deshbandhu, after Subhash Bose, after Shama Prasad Rai and their mysterious disappearances and killings and Shastriji killings. Brilliant brains, honest persons are not coming to Indian politics. That's the tragedy. Let me stop here today. Hope you will put your questions. If questions are there, I will be again tomorrow on the same subject. Thank you.